Don't be a government slave. Now, you're probably wondering, you're probably like, but every Ibis, what do you mean by don't be a government slave? It's very simple. It's very simple. Most of us, I mean, a good part of people, a lot of people in the United States are slaves to the government, and they don't know it. And people are like, oh, well, isn't slavery illegal? You know, they did a whole entire Civil War thing back in. Hey, Alexa, when was the Civil War?
There are no episodes of the Civil War on TV in the next 2 weeks. The Civil War ended on September 27, 1990, and aired on PBS. It is available to stream on PBS.
Okay. Okay, guys, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I am very bad at history, obviously, but at least I'm not as bad as Alexa is. Oh lordy, that just I'm sorry. I should put that. Yeah, okay, I was gonna say 1880 something, but yeah, it's like 1861, 1865, etc., etc. Um, yeah. So you're probably like, but every year is good. Civil War ended back in 1865, and that's when like all the slaves were free and everything like that. It's like, well, there's a thing now called modern day slavery, is what I call it. And you know what? I need to get a drink because this is gonna be a long one. You know, I should put like a little intro there. I should start putting intros. Oh my gosh. Hang on, I'll be back. Pause, please. You know, I find it kind of fitting that I'm talking about slavery, and it's currently the 1st of February, Black History Month. I did not time this perfectly on purpose. Anyway, as you guys know, my motivational speeches and all that stuff are unscripted. They are unrehearsed, as you can tell. This is episode 2. I'm just gonna put that in the title, maybe, possibly. Anyway, modern day slavery. Now, what is slavery? Slavery is pretty much when you got control of somebody. You know, you pretty much got them back a chokehold. They can't do anything. You're pretty much like, yeah, you gonna do whatever I want to do, whatever I want you to do. You can't say anything against it. You know, that's pretty much slavery in a way. What people say is like, oh, it's doing labor and not being paid for it or something like that. Now, this is modern day slavery I'm talking about. I don't know about you guys, but if you guys have been paying attention, by the way, this is 2021 that I am recording this. So if you guys haven't noticed, the past week, we've had some issues with Wall Street and everything. You see, the elite and stuff, they do, you know, they do stocks, crypto, currencies, options, fortunes, etc. A quick little lesson on markets like that. You can short or you can long. You can pretty much buy or sell anything you want on any of the markets. You could buy Bitcoin, you can sell Bitcoin, you could buy a stock, you can sell a stock, you could buy a currency, you could sell a currency. You're pretty much betting that a company, currency, etc., etc., is either going to go up or down. Now, so now that we got that out of the way, it seems there was a giant hedge fund that decided that they were going to short GameStop, Bed Bath Beyond. I think AMC was another one. Nokia was probably another one. Well, the thing that kind of confuses me is why they even announce that. Usually, hedge funds and big corporations never say that they're going to long or short anything because that's how they make their money. They don't tell people. I think to be honest, I think they said that on purpose to distract us from something else. But that'll be another video in the future. Anyway, so what happened was Reddit got a hold of it and they're like, hey, we don't want you to like take advantage of this, so we're gonna buy all the stocks in GameStop. So what they did, they pretty much made GameStop stock pretty much go over 370%, making a lot of people millionaires overnight. Um, you know, the elite, they don't like that. They don't like people having money. They don't like common people having money. Us having money means that we do not have to depend on them. We don't have to depend on the government in any way, shape, or form. That's why they want to have a tight leash on us, thus modern day slavery. So, am I boring you, boo? Baby's over there looking out at a distance, just looking all bored and everything. Anyway, so with that, they're trying to they pretty much a lot of stock apps, brokerage like Robinhood is pretty much the main one. Robinhood, TD Ameritrade. I want to say maybe E-Trade also did it as well. They pretty much made it so you can no longer buy the stocks. You have to sell them. So that way, because so many people bought the stocks and everything, that made all the hedge funds and everything lose billions and billions of dollars. Oh, orange soda, yay. That made them lose billions of dollars, and so it would create a whole lot of chaos. And the thing is, Wall Street manipulates the market all the darn time. They there's clues. There's like very very subtle clues on what the hell's about to happen. Like, for example, last year in March, around March, end of February, getting on March or so, there's a lot of CEOs that stepped down. Disney CEOs stepped down. All these people stepped down. Around the same time that they stepped down, like I think like a day or two or so, all those stocks like crashed. And a lot of people, like billionaires and stuff, they made a lot of money because they knew that was going to happen. I mean, there are hints they will give you. There are hints out there to let you know if something's going to go up or down. You just have to figure out what in the world it is. And somebody's probably going to be like, oh, did you take those hints? Are you a millionaire? No, sadly, I am not a millionaire right now. I am kind of semi-working on it, but we got to take this stuff one step at a time, Everybody deserves to be a millionaire. Everybody just has a different path on how they're going to take it. Anyway, let's see, the hit they trash. And they pretty much, so they started doing Bitcoin, and there's like now, like Robinhood's all like, well, we're going to stop you from doing crypto, etc., etc. There's some places that if you make a new account now, you have to wait to even trade anything. They pretty much like stopped it so like a common folk can't make money this way. Because when you got because normally like a lot of us like normal us smaller folk, we can't move the market. Normally we cannot move the market. That's usually done with big corporations like Goldman Sachs and all of them and everything. They're usually the ones that move the market up and down, determine the prices of everything. But when you got like millions and millions and millions of everyday people buying millions and millions and millions of stuff, that pretty much tips the curve over into our favor. So right now I believe they're probably working on trying to keep this from ever happening again. I suspect they're probably going to put some type of guidelines or something saying that maybe you need X amount of money to start up something or something like that. I've been telling people for years, like, you can invest in whatever you want. People are like, oh, I'm not a billionaire. I can't buy a stock. I can't do this. But now all of a sudden, all these people that say they can't buy because they're not billionaires are buying stuff because they realize, hey, we can buy this stuff. Yeah, I'm by the end of the year, no, you're probably going to need a very, very good account, a very, very hefty account to even trade anything by the end of the year. I'm calling it right now. Actually, I called it on Twitter a few days ago. One of my predictions of companies making it so you gotta wait a bit before you can trade actually happened with one company. So, yeah. Anyway, back to so pretty much that's a good example of people saying, hey, the elite don't want us to have any sort of money. They want us to be pretty much dependent on them and the government, which is 1% true. So, this all falls back on modern day slavery. Pretty much, I don't know about you, I'm not a fan of government aid. I really am not. Because, the system is set up that the more dependent you are on the government, the more you get. It's pretty much, to be honest, government aid, for the most part, actually hurts more people than help people. Yes, there are people out there that it helps. There are people out there that they'll get it, they'll use it for what they need to use it for. Maybe they got laid off, maybe they got fired, and they need that. They need those food stamps or something for probably about a month or two to till they can find a job and everything. They find a job, they get off it, cool, no big deal. But there are those people that will take advantage of it. There are people out there that does take advantage of it and will like do crazy stuff, sell food stamps, or just live off the government assistance for the rest of their lives. But the thing is, no, no, like don't be that person, please don't. The more the more quote unquote you are willing to let the government control your life, the more they are willing to help you. Like, years ago, it actually happened while I was actually at working at Subway. So back in 2011 or so about 10 years ago. I went to apply for food stamps because it would be pretty useful because I was living with my mom. My mom was already on disability, so she wasn't working. And so we were pretty much living off of her disability check, which really wasn't that much. And then there's like a itty bitty bit of money I was getting from Subway because I was getting like maybe 20 hours a week at Subway, minimum wage, etc. I tried to apply for food stamps just so they help us out and everything, and they said I made too much money. It's like I'm working. Before taxes, let's do a quick calculation of that right now. Calculator, 7.25. So I'm working minimum wage. Ooh, 7.25. Let's say I'm gonna be nice and give myself 24 hours. That's $174 a week I was getting. That's not including like money for that's before taxes. That's before taxes. I had to help out with bills and all that fun stuff, But either way, I'm making too much money for food stamps. Now, I'm not sure how much my mom was getting for disability. We were also paying for a house, paying those bills, and the bills were pretty high because we had a broken AC unit and everything just went. Electricity, it made the electricity bill like skyrocket to a few $100s a month or so. So, yeah. So I was making too much money, but the lady said if I had a kid, I'll qualify. Huh? If I have a kid, that's gonna put me even more in the hole. I'm trying to get. It's like I was trying to like get help so I can like get some extra food and stuff back then. And you want to say something, Boo? Okay. And it's funny because they will rub if you have a kid how much stuff you get from the government all up in your face. I was a few years later I tried to apply for like some, I guess it's like Obamacare or whatever. I was trying to do the marketplace or whatever. And I tried to get insurance, which was actually good. Insurance that was actually a whole lot more expensive than what my job was providing. But yeah. But they pretty much shoved in your face. Oh, if you have a kid, it'll be this much cheaper. If you have a kid, you get this for free. You get that for free. If you have a kid, it's like, yeah, I won't lie. Having a kid is pretty much that you pretty much get a lot of free stuff in the country if you have a kid. That's how they get you. They want to start you off pretty darn young, They most people usually have kids nowadays. Most people usually have kids before they hit the age of 21. So they're probably already out of school. Probably don't got any job experience. Probably maybe working part time somewhere, maybe at a McDonald's or something like that with a kid. That's how they get you. See, good thing is, what happens is, let's say you got a kid. Okay, let's say you got a kid, you're working part-time. Maybe you don't have somebody to, like, help you out with housing or anything like a roommate or something like that, or a parent. Okay, so now what do? Okay, well, you got a kid, you need to get a job. Oh, guess what? You need daycare. You need daycare, and this actually happened to somebody. This is somebody kind of close to me. The government was willing to pay for her daycare bills and everything while she was working and everything, but in order to do that, she couldn't have a job. And she made too much. She made a good bit of money, and she couldn't wasn't allowed to have a job because she needed somebody. She needed somebody to help. She wasn't making like crazy money, but she was making enough to survive with 2 kids, but just to survive for the basics. It didn't include like childcare and everything because childcare is pretty damn expensive. That's why I work weekends and my fiance work weekdays. That way we have one of us has Hunter, except for on Friday when we're both working. Then my mom takes care of him on that one day. But childcare on average ranges for one kid like $300 a week. So that's a thousand. That's like 1,200. That's 1,200 a month for childcare for one. That's just one child. Okay, and she had 2 of them. So that's a lot of money to be shoving out for somebody to look after your kid. But they said that she needed to quit her job in order to qualify for a daycare assistant. If you quit your job, why do you need somebody to look after your kid? But it's like, okay, that's weird, but whatever. Um, you know what? I'll even use my own mom for this. She tried to when I was younger, when I was like a few months old or so. Or I don't know how old I was. I know we were still in New York, so it was before I was 4. And excuse me, sir. What are you fussing about? Hang on, gotta pause again. Oh, you good? Okay, I think he's good. Anyway, anyway, she wanted to get because she was at the time she was working. She needed help. She was a single mother and everything, so she needed help raising me. She actually did go to the government assisted place and everything for help and all that stuff. And she told me that the dude said that she would actually make more money on welfare and everything than trying to work the 1 or 2 jobs she had. So naturally, trying to do the best she can as a single mother, she pretty much quit her job and went on welfare for a bit. But that's the thing. It's all like they don't want to help you if you're currently trying to work. And that's what happens. Like people will be like, "Oh, well, even like, oh, well, you mean you'll help me, but I just got to be completely helpless, you know?" Um I'm not sure how much the system has changed. I'm pretty sure it's still about the same because, like I said, they don't want you. The government does not want you making any. They don't want you having any type of hold to your life. Because second you like break free and of those chains, they toss you. They freaking toss you. Like another example. I when I got pregnant with Hunter, I actually did apply for Medicaid or Medicare or whatever it is. And I was still under my company's insurance plan. Okay, so the company I was working at, I was making pretty okay money. I was making about 14 an hour or so. I was getting a lot of overtime because we were like really behind because after when COVID kind of let up, well, quote unquote, let up and everything, when stuff started opening back up, people were like ordering stuff all over again. And so we got flooded with orders. So we were working a whole lot of overtime. And so I was still under the insurance I had for that company, which was actually complete trash. I won't even lie. So stuff happened. I had to quit, and I had to quit that job. I had to quit that job. I was still working. But I was working elsewhere where it wasn't as much stress and everything. But I was making a whole lot less money. I was like bringing home maybe if I was lucky like 200 a week if I was lucky. If I was lucky, I'd make 200 a week. Was bringing home 200 a week. I went from bringing home about 750 a week to 200 a week. That's how big of a drop I ended up making. But around this time, Shannon had actually started paying my medical bills, and he was paying for my OBGYN bills and everything like that. But Although after I quit that job, I think my second appointment after that, that's when they're like, oh, hey, look, you have Medicaid. Did you know that? And I'm all like, I mean, I applied for it in March. Here it is September after I done quit that was like, I think it was October or so. It was around October. But either way, it's like 2 months after I quit my job, that's when it kicked in. I applied for this stuff in March, but it didn't kick in until I was making a job of uh, um, I was making like $200 a week. Now you're probably like, well, you were making a good bit of money back then anyway. You didn't need the Medicaid and everything. I have something called bills. um, yeah, it seemed like good money, but most of it went to because I was still living with my mom at the time. My mom and I we split rent. There's no different than being with a roommate, okay? But there was that. I had car payment. I had car insurance and everything. Pretty much most of the money I made went to bills, and the 750 was if I had overtime. Most of the time I did it, and it was just only It was only like $500 a week if I didn't have overtime. So yeah, which my rent was like 500, or no, it was 600. Rent was 600. Car payment was 400 because I have really bad credit, and my insurance was 200 because I needed full coverage. So that's a good bit of that's a good bit of stuff. That doesn't include like other miscellaneous stuff, like if I want food or gas or something like that. So yeah. So yeah, it took it till I was making like $200 a week for them. Like, oh yeah, here's all this nice free insurance. But let me also explain something about that as well. You see, company or people want a lot of free stuff. You know, our taxes and everything we pay, it can cover free Medicare for all. It could cover free college, free what else was it that people want? College, healthcare. I want to say there was something else. I guess people are like, well, we want a higher wage thing. We'll get to that in a second as well. But here's the funny thing. Okay, so before my Medicaid kicked in, when we were going to the doctor, they said they found a cyst on my ovary. Like they found it in April on my first ultrasound. They found it in April, and they said it was getting big. It was progressively getting really big as the months went by. Now keep in mind we're actually paying we're honestly on my company insurance plan at this point. And what month was it? I didn't quit yet, so that was like in July, I think. I think about July. I went to a specialist about my ovary. He said that because of how big the cyst was, it was important that I had surgery on it within the next week or two, because I think he said after about 26 or something weeks or so, like 20, like, I think it was like 28 weeks or so into your pregnancy, it's important I should have this removed so it won't so it won't like twist or something and then like cause a lot of pain and everything like that. But the thing is, I was only at the time about 28 weeks pregnant. And they said the medicine they do give me to put me asleep can cause early labor and everything, and that's about 7 months into. That's really, really premature. So we decided to just wait on the surgery until after Hunter's born. Because the other risk was, if it gets too big, it could pretty much destroy my ovary and I will lose the ovary. And we decided it would be better to have Hunter have a guaranteed child, pretty much, than to have surgery, something happens, and we accidentally lose him or something. So we just decided, losing an ovary is a whole lot better than, like, potentially losing an ovary is a whole lot better than potentially losing our child. So that's what we went with. Now I'm on Medicare. I'm gonna be getting off of it soon because I got another job and everything. So, I'm on Medicare now. I went to the doctor on Thursday for to get an IUD put in. The IUD I had can make cysts worse. So they had to check the cyst, and lo and behold, the cyst is no longer there. Yeah, it's not there anymore. They had recorded that it was there at one point, conveniently, but now it's no longer there. People have said that cysts can disappear after a pregnancy, but part of me is kind of like, it's kind of convenient because one thing I've also learned in life is the better your insurance, the more that's wrong with you. The worse your insurance, the quote unquote healthier you are. Like I remember, I had Medicare when I was a child. I think that's what mom had me on. I was a kid and everything. You get Medicare for children and everything like that. And I didn't have the best dental habits back then as a kid. I brushed my teeth maybe once a month if I was lucky. I gave no flips, I did not care. My mom, she is the person that brushes and flosses twice a day. She is that person. We go to the dentist, my mom will always have one or two cavities. She'll always have one or two cavities, and my teeth will be quote unquote perfect. Huh? But it's like, you can literally, if you have cavities in your teeth, if they're big enough, you can actually feel the cavities. Now, I'm able to actually feel the cavities that's in my mouth, and the dentists are saying, oh no, your teeth are perfect. There's nothing wrong with them, You're completely perfect. No, no, no. That's, those are lies. So, even if we can have universal health care, I feel that will actually be a whole lot worse. In a way, it might, it might be better because it might actually motivate doctors to actually be better people because you ain't gonna get much money anyway, so you might as well do your job, So, maybe people go into that field because it's a passion for them. So it's probably a two-pronged sword. I can't say for sure. People are like, oh, well, it works well in other countries and stuff. The thing is, the United States is a capitalist country. The goal here is to make more, spend less. That's the goal in American society. If you run a company, you want to make as much money as you can by spending as little money as possible. That is your goal as a business owner in America. Okay, that's pretty much the goal. Like people are like, oh well, Denmark has a minimum wage of $22 an hour, and their Big Macs are like only $5. They have like all this free stuff, and they got free college, they got free healthcare. They clearly know what they're doing. As far as I know, Denmark is not a capitalist country. You know what? Hey Alexa, is Denmark a capitalist country?
Here's something I found on the web. According to engineeringtimelines.com, Denmark is a parliamentary democracy with a royal head of state and runs as a capitalist system of economic liberalism. Just
Okay. Denmark is a capitalist system. Okay. Forgive me for that. Of economic liberalism. Okay. So, Denmark is a capitalist country. Weird how people say, let's get rid of capitalism, but then praise Denmark. Okay, then. So, you're probably wondering, okay, so it works in Denmark, it has to work in America too. I don't know, there's some weird strings in America. Like I said, they were not going to let people make money here. This is strictly a country where if you want to make money and not have to, like, I guess, care or whatever, then that's fine. That is the kind of place for you or so. It's pretty much, America is pretty much a dog eat dog country, okay? The strong will survive, the weak will fall, etc., etc., etc. So that's pretty much what it is. So you could probably be like, well, like I said, Denmark's a capitalist country just like us, but it's a liberalism structure or something like that. So I guess that's got a huge difference right there. I do feel that they're planning on making minimum wage in America $15 an hour by 2025, which To be honest, with inflation, that is really not that much money. Um, $15 an hour is not that much money. I believe I want to say it sends you up into another into a slightly higher tax bracket once you hit that 15. Um, I want to say that, but I'm not really 1% sure. But all it'll do is encourage the government, be like, hey, you guys are making more money now. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to tax you even more. I guarantee it. Once minimum wage goes to $15 an hour, the government is going to raise our taxes up higher so they can line their pockets up even more. They're not going to be like, okay, here's $15, your entire life going to be happy. They're either going to raise the taxes or everything's going to it's going to go up. We'll find this out because it's supposed to go up slowly and then over the next few years to eventually get to 15 and 2025, So when it gets to $9, I think it's going to be like 9, 11, 13, and then 15. So when we get to probably about $11 an hour national minimum wage or so, like 11 or 13, we're probably going to see stuff slowly going up at that point. Maybe taxes being a little bit more. They're not going to let us win, guys. They're not going to let us win. I'm sorry. I know you want to hope that one day the United States is going to be like a really great place where you can make like all your dreams come true. People go run around happy, having like all these houses, all these cars, having all this education and everything and all that stuff. No. You could probably be like, oh well, all the greedy old people are dying and they're all dying. It's just gonna be all of us younger folk and everything like that. We're gonna take no. That's not gonna be how it's gonna be. The thing is, if that was the case, then this should have already blown over. I mean, yeah, you got people like, oh, well, you got people there from like the 1960s, like the 1950s, still in office today and everything, and they're gonna die. They're gonna be replaced with somebody with similar mindsets, and then they'll be like, oh, well, there's people like AOC and I don't know what the one chick is. I ain't gonna butcher her name, but she's also in the Senate as well. It's like Inhan. I'm not gonna butcher her name, but I know like she gets a lot of crap for like quote unquote marrying her brother or something like that. I'm not saying she did or not. I'm just trying to describe this chick. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm sorry. It's like I can't pronounce her name. I'm not going to destroy it or anything, but I know she gets a lot of crap for that too. Shoot, what was I gonna say? 1 second. Okay, I'm back. But anyway. I mean, shoot. There's so much stuff that could go well in this country, but they ain't gonna let us. They're your stacks are the cards are always gonna be stacked up against us no matter what, They'll let people become rich, but not in huge masses. You gotta be lucky. You gotta pretty much like. I think that if not a lot of people caught on to the whole entire GameStop thing, and it did go viral, the people that was able to do it, well, to be honest, they actually would have lost money because it wouldn't have gone viral and then boom, crash. But if they had seen it and it didn't go viral, they could have actually made money by shorting the stock and everything like that, Anyway, like I said, it's the government wants us to be fully dependent on them as much as possible. The more kids you have, the better off the government will help you. Like they'll like raise food stamps like crazy. If you have like 5 kids, you'll get like a bunch of food stamps. You'll get like housing, phones, all that fun stuff. I'm not exactly 1% sure what they provide. I know they provide housing, phones, and food. And everything, the more kids you have, the better off you are and everything like that. There's people out there with I ain't gonna lie, there's people out there with with kids and stuff living off better than I am. But shoot, I'm not going to sacrifice. I'm not going to sacrifice my freedom and everything to be stuck on the government. Because once you start depending on yourself, they drop you. They pretty much drop you. So, and once you have like 2, 3, 4 kids or so, it's harder to get off of. It's harder to get off the system because you won't be able to find a job that'll support all 5 of you or 6 of you if you're still with somebody or whatever. It's not enough to support your entire family if you started off with kids before you got in anything. And people talk about, oh, college needs to be free and everything. There's trade schools out there. Trade schools are actually a whole lot better at college because with trade schools, you learn a trade, you learn a skill, you get something that you can take with you no matter what. A college degree, I mean, it's a piece of paper. Some people will see it, be like, oh, wow, that's awesome. Some people won't. But when it comes down to corporations and everything, you need to network yourself anyway, okay? You could have a PhD and have 25 books out on one subject or something like that. You could apply for a job somewhere, and that person hiring is probably going to hire their best friend of 17 years with no degree or anything over you. It's not because I went to Job Corps. I went to Job Corps, and I'm kind of mad because I actually wasted a really good opportunity there. I should have I went in there for computer networking. I should have probably went in there for something. I don't want to say something a little better. I should have went in there for MDO because I would have gotten a forklift driver license. If forklift drivers make a whole lot of money, but back then it was pretty much laughed at. If you get a forklift driver, you could you work at Sam's Club. Ha 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 ha. It's pretty much looked down upon. Nobody wants you to work at Sam's Club. What's kind of job like that? But that's what I should have done. Because right now, up here in upstate South Carolina, if you want to work at BMW as a forklift driver, you make no less than about $22, $23 an hour. That's for that's minimum for the most part. So yeah, I passed up on that right there. Anyway, that's free, okay? If you're listening to this and you are between the ages of 16 and 25, look up Job Corps, okay? It's free, okay? I think you just have to be in a very a not really financially good household, I think you gotta be making the household gotta be making less than $100,000 or something. It's government funded. It's free. You learn a trade. You get certifications and everything. And they also help you find a job and everything. If you want to transfer over to a college afterwards, they will help you with that. I think they pay a first year or so of your college or so. If you go to a tech school or something like that, they pay for dude, come on now. That's free. That's free, okay? That's free. Even if you don't want to go to college afterward, you got a trade under your belt you can use to apply to another company. Okay, you got trade, you got experience, etc. But the thing is, a lot of people snub at Job Corps because it's a place where people believe that only troubled people go. Because when I tell people I went to Job Corps, they're like, "But you're not a bad person." What the hell? Why do you got to be a bad person to go to Job Corps? I mean, that's the thing. Is they see this opportunity as a place for delinquents or something. It's no, you don't have to be a delinquent to go to Job Corps. Going to Job Corps is not going to strip you from your dignity or anything like that. It's go do it, get a trade. The one I went to, they had MDO, like I said. That's forklift driving and everything. They had plumbing. They had carpentry. They had computer networking. They had office assistant. They had cooking as well. I mean, there's other Job Corps that do other things. Some of them have the same thing. Some of them may have 1 or 2 things that's different. That's free. That is free. You don't even have to worry about going to college debt or anything. That is free. Okay, it's a government. I guess a lot of people also snub it too because it's government regulated. So it's pretty much it's kind of like a miniature military school or so. You do have GI night. You gotta keep your area clean and everything. You can't drink on campus. You can't smoke on campus. Lord forbid, if they catch you with weed, you are gone. You are no questions asked. You are. I've seen. I mean, to be honest, I've seen people. Get kicked out and stuff for having cigarettes and for having alcohol and having weed and everything. They don't give. They are very strict with that. Um, don't try it. Don't think you can sneak it. You ain't gonna be able to sneak it. Trust me. Um, yeah. There. That's free. That's free. Okay. There's your free education right there. Boom. That free education will get you that high paying, can get you that high paying job. It could get your foot into the door at a college. Um, if you get in there, if you make friends with like the RA staff or even the higher ups or anything, get them for references. Okay, get them for references. See if they can connect you with some other people and stuff. Come on, these resources are free. People are like, "Oh, I want free healthcare." There are I know upstate South Carolina there's sponsorships, okay? There's probably like this too in other places, but check your main hospital branch, okay? The main hospital branch where you live at, you can get sponsorships. If you make like I know here in upstate South Carolina, if you make less than 100 grand a year, you can apply for sponsorship and boom, once you get the sponsorship, your hospital visit for for a whole year free. Free. What it is, it's a bunch of like rich people. They'll go and pay off people's debt so they can write it off their taxes. It's free. Free healthcare right there. Only downside is that it will knock your credit down a bit. But if you already got bad credit or you don't care about your credit, free healthcare is right there. There's your free schooling. There's your free healthcare. Okay? Boom. Okay, come on now. You gotta look this stuff up. Get information. It's there online. Okay? Get information. It's there online. You gotta search for it. Okay? You gotta search for it. You gotta also be prepared and and be aware of scams. On my other YouTube channel, actually, I have a scam alert series where I talk about various different scams. So you gotta keep an eye on that too and everything like that. So yeah, I don't know how long I've been talking and everything, but yeah, don't be I mean, one thing we need to do, we need to figure out a way to we don't need to be paying such high taxes. I ain't gonna lie. That's also what's hurting us is the taxes that's being paid. I mean, most of that tax money isn't going to anything useful. It's just going to the politician's pocket. It's going overseas for like Lord knows what. You know? I mean, it's going overseas. We put in pockets. This is money we're earning. This is money we're working for. And it's just, yeah, we gotta stop that. And you know what we gotta stop? We gotta stop this two-party system, okay? Because people are like, oh, you need to vote for this person because it's like the lesser of two evils. We need to get out of that mindset. And people are like, if you don't vote for one or the other, you're wasting your vote. When we get out of that mindset as a collective, we will be free of that mindset. That mindset is also what is screwing us over because they're only good. It doesn't matter who you vote for. Doesn't matter if they're Democrat, Republican, Trump, Biden, Obama, Bush, Clinton, Reagan, Lincoln, Taft. My fat boy Taft. He got stuck in a bathtub, yo. Ooh. Got stuck in a bathtub. It's like part of me is like that's like a goal that I could eat like so much food. I get stuck in a bathtub, and then another part of me is like I do not want to ever get stuck in a bathtub in my life. You know, like it actually makes it like that's actually like people are like, oh, who's your favorite president? I'm like, oh, it's William Taft, and people are like, oh, he did all this bad stuff. It's like he got stuck in a bathtub. He got stuck in a bathtub. I can't even. It's like, dude, that is. I don't want to say I want to be remembered for something that awesome. Well, I mean, that's not really awesome, but I mean, it's so rare. It's so weird for presidents to like, I mean, okay, so everybody's going to remember that when President Bush choked on a pretzel. I mean, Bush choked on a pretzel. Taft got stuck in a tub. Trump had toilet paper on his shoe. Obama wore a tan suit. I mean, there's always something that a president's gonna be remembered for. Clinton got a blowjob in the office. I mean, I'm not gonna say that's like a best. I mean, but Taft, he got stuck in a bathtub. Anyway, like I was saying, it doesn't matter who we vote for. We're going to be stuck in this endless loop, okay? Until we figure out, we need a new way to decide who to vote for. See, me, I say what we do. We don't know the candidates. We just go on there on election day. We'll see what they are pro, what they are against, and that's it. You vote off based on that. You don't based on like their race, their gender, their name, their party. It's like, oh, I like these ideas. It's like, and they have to be different. They can't be all like, oh, I'm going to lower taxes. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to ban abortions, or I'm going to like make it so, I don't know, people can like ride a horse on Sundays naked or something. It's gonna be, I mean, it'll be like stuff where you can't tell what political party they're in. Okay, it's just what they want to do for themselves, like what they, not for themselves, but you know what they want to do and what their plans are doing for XYZ. And I think people should vote like that. Or we could just run a lottery. Just run a lottery, pay everybody's social security number over the age of 35 in a bucket, call it out, post a number on TV or whatever, and if they accept the job, boom, they become president. Whether they accept the job or not, they get a new social security number, because now your social security number's all over for the world, So, yeah, I think that a voting system should be like that. That's how I feel. That way people are voting for the actual quote unquote right candidate. There's no lesser, greater evil because of what somebody did in the past. I mean, there's going to be, of course, before like they run all this stuff, they're gonna make sure that a person didn't abuse kids or try to nuke a school or anything like that. I mean, they're gonna run an extensive background check, but something like, oh yeah, I grew up this random person 20, 30, 50 years ago, at a party or something. Yeah, it's like that's gotta be pretty much, yeah. It's cause it's what people did 30, 50, 40, whatever years ago, it's not always going to be how they are now, I mean, I did a lot of stupid stuff when I was a kid. I mean, that doesn't mean I do the same stupid stuff as an adult, and if I do stupid stuff now, that doesn't mean I'm going to do the same stupid stuff when I'm 60. I mean, people change. I hate seeing people getting attacked for stuff they did decades ago. There was a Ken Jennings. He's replacing. He's a guest host for Jeopardy since Alex died, and somebody's all like, "Why don't you?" It's like, "Why don't you talk about the ableist tweets you tweeted on Twitter?" It's like, well, how long ago was that? 7 years ago. Apparently he already apologized for the tweets and deleted them. You're just gonna still hound him? Leave him alone. That was years ago. I can understand if it was last week or something, but I mean, there needs to be a limit. If it's something if it's something small like that, there needs to be a limit. But if you're if you're 50 years old and when you're 20 you raped a child or something, okay, yeah, that right there, that's not no. We keep that. We keep in judge that right there. Okay, that's a no. Okay, that's a serious no. Okay. Anyway, I think I'm done. Yeah, but yeah, don't be a government slave. I mean, don't fall into all this free fiascos. I mean, like I said, I gave you guys ideas on what to do and everything for school and everything. There's also websites that'll teach you how to do stuff, and they're pretty. There's like that Skillshare website or whatever. I mean, there's there's master classes or whatever. I mean, there's resources. There's YouTube. There's all these resources that's either free or a whole lot cheaper than college. You can pick up these skills and you can utilize them. You can set up a little portfolio or something to kind of get your name out there and everything. There's all these ways. You technically don't even need to go to college for any of this stuff. Only thing I'd recommend, I'd probably go to, for me personally, the only thing I would go to college for is to learn a foreign language, because I will feel more motivated to do it like that. But that's me personally. So I mean, yeah, there's all these free resources out there, guys. You technically don't even need college. It's a pretty big scam, you know. It's a pretty big scam, and yeah. Um, one thing, another thing you can probably do is hope for another government shutdown. If you got like student loans or anything on your credit, hope for a government shutdown again. Sign up for a credit repair program. They have 60 days to claim that, to be like, yeah, this is your credit thingy ma do. And if they can't do it in 60 days, that gets wiped off your credit. Okay? I did in the last credit. I did in the last government shutdown. I got so much stuff off my credit, including student loans. I'm just saying, there's like you could have used the coronavirus thing for your own advantage. Okay, if your government gets shut down again, and that's the option you can use, try it out. Worst they could do is say, yeah, you owe these loans still. I mean, that's the worst they could say. Okay, the worst they say. Anyway, hope you guys have a good day. I'm Every Ibis, and I am signing out. I'm actually gonna hit a stop button. How long is this video? How long is this video? 51 minutes. This is gonna be like power hour videos. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.